Hello, everybody. Now we're going to talk about complex sentences. So we have reviewed simple sentences. We know a simple sentence is one complete thought. Complete. It cannot be incomplete, right? So, for example, vaccines were invented. That's a simple sentence. That cars were invented. Driverless cars will become a reality soon. These are all simple sentences. Then we have compound sentences, is when we join two simple sentences together. So, if I put vaccines were invented, and I put this one over here, and I say, and cars. Oops. And cars were invented. There you go. Then I have a compound sentence. I can use so, I can use but, right? Those are the ones we're focusing on. Okay, but what are complex sentences? Well, a complex sentence is different from a compound sentence and a simple sentence, right? First of all, a simple sentence has one thought. A compound sentence has two thoughts. A complex sentence also has two thoughts. But what's the difference? The difference is with a compound sentence, I can actually use a period, remove the connector, and I have two simple sentences. With a complex sentence, I cannot do that. A complex sentence starts with a word. So it, when, if, and because. Those are the three words we're going to use. Starts with a word like this. When, and then if I say, when driverless cars will become a reality. When, is this a complete thought? No. If I put a period over here, that becomes a fragment because it's not a complete thought. So what I do is I put a comma, and then I use another subject, another verb, and another complement to finish the sentence. When driverless cars will become, I have to remove this, become a reality, there will be fewer accidents. There you go. Isn't that cool? Now this is a complex sentence. So let's see. Subject of the first part of the sentence, driverless cars. So let me put a green in here. Sorry. Let me make it a little darker. There you go. Then become is the verb, and I'm going to make it darker yet. There you go. And then our reality is our complement. Okay, let me put it in red. So when is that extra word that if you put at the beginning of the first thought makes this thought dependent on the other one. It's like a baby. This becomes a baby that depends on the mother to be able to exist. And then I have a subject over here. I have the verb be, but will is an auxiliary. It's okay. And then fewer accidents will be my complement, right? So now let's try with if. If, the same thing. If I say, if the world population is 9 billion, this is not a complete thought. This is a fragment because I have the moment I add the word if, this becomes a baby. I need a comma right here. If the world population is 9 billion, right? Actually, instead of if, I prefer to put when. Let me go back to when, okay? When the world population is 9 billion, we may not have enough food for everyone. Let me say this, okay? So again, I have the world population is my subject, is my verb, 9 billion is complement. Then I have a subject, verb, and then complement. Now remember, you have to use the subject on the second part of the sentence. All right? So the same thing with because. Because the world is overpopulated, the coronavirus can have a devastating effect. Right? So again, what word do I have here? Because. And then it turns this into a baby, into a dependent idea. A dependent clause. Because the world is overpopulated, I need a comma. I cannot use a period. This is not a complete thought. I need the mom to finish it. The coronavirus can have a devastating effect. So we have also if. If, for example, driverless cars, no, let me say this. If more people used public transportation, we would have less pollution. By the way, guys, it's not contamination, it's pollution, all right? So if, it's another one of those words that turns this idea into dependent, into a baby that depends on the mom. So if more people used public transportation, this is our subject, right? We would have less pollution. So we have when, we have because, and we have if. Now let me show you something really interesting. I can switch the mom and the baby. Okay, so I can actually take this idea first, and then I can take this, put this idea second. All right, so let me do this. And I don't need a comma in the middle. So if the word if or because or when is in the middle of the sentence, we don't need a comma. The comma is no longer needed. So let's do this again. The coronavirus can have a devastating effect because the world is overpopulated. Then what happens? I do not need a comma. Do not use a comma before the word because. I've noticed in your papers and in your sentences, you are using a comma before the word because, but you don't need to. The same here. I can start the sentence with the sentence, and then I can move this here, right? I need a period at the end of the sentence, and I need to capitalize the first word of the sentence. Right? I don't need any commas. We may not have enough food for everyone when the world population is 9 billion. So those are complex sentences, and that's how we punctuate complex sentences, and that's how we write them. All right.